You don't need enemies when your own mouth is working against you. Right now, someone is using your own words to destroy you. They're sitting in a room, planning your downfall with sentences you spoke months ago. That joke you made, it's evidence against you. That secret you shared, it's leverage in their hands. That moment of weakness, it's their path to victory. You think your words disappear into thin air. You believe people forget what you say. You assume your conversations are safe. This is the most dangerous delusion of modern life.
There are 10 psychological traps that turn your mouth into your executioner. And the worst part, you walk into all of them willingly. Not because you're weak, not because you're careless, because you were never taught what these situations actually are. They look like normal conversations. They feel like safe moments. They sound like connection, like venting, like confidence, like honesty. And that's exactly why they destroy people every single day. The ancient war strategists, the ones who built empires and outlasted enemies who were stronger, faster, and better funded, they understood one thing most people never learn. Your mouth is not neutral. Every word you speak either builds your position or dismantles it. Every sentence is either a brick in your wall or a hole in it. Sun Tzu wrote, "He who knows when he can fight and when he cannot will be victorious." The same law applies to speaking. He who knows when to speak and when to stay silent will be powerful. He who doesn't will hand his enemies the exact weapon they need to defeat him. I'm going to show you all 10 traps. The last one is the root, the one that makes the other 9 possible. But you need to see all of them to understand why that final one is the one that matters most. Before we go further, I want to be clear about something. This is not about becoming cold. This is not about assuming everyone around you wants to destroy you. This is about protection. Knowing which moments are safe and which ones are designed to extract something from you that you didn't mean to give. That's not paranoia. That's power. Let's get into it. Number 1. The rage revelation. Anger is truth serum. When fury takes control, your brain shuts down its security system, and your mouth becomes a confession booth. Every grievance you've silently carried, every resentment you've carefully buried, every dark thought you've kept locked away, they all come pouring out like poison. The person who triggered your anger isn't your enemy in that moment, they're your interrogator. They've just discovered the fastest way to extract your most protected truths. While you're busy feeling righteous, they're busy collecting intelligence. Rage makes you predictable. Once someone knows what makes you explode, they own you. They can trigger your fury whenever they need you to reveal something, make a mistake, or destroy your own credibility. Your rage becomes their remote control. The most dangerous part isn't what you say, it's who hears it. Your moment of rage becomes their permanent record of your character. Your temporary loss of control becomes their permanent evidence against you. The generals who won without fighting understood this. They waited. They absorbed. They responded at the moment of their choosing, not the moment their enemy chose for them. If you can't command your own mouth when angry, you will never command anything else that matters. Your rage is not righteous. It's weakness wearing the mask of strength. The powerful feel anger, but never perform it. They process fury privately and respond strategically. They understand that today's emotional explosion becomes tomorrow's ammunition. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My anger serves me. Number 2, the victory parade. Success intoxicates worse than alcohol. When you're winning, your ego demands an audience. You want applause for your brilliance. You need credit for your strategy. You want everyone to understand exactly how clever you've been. This need for recognition destroys more winners than failure ever could. Every explanation of your success is a tutorial for your competitors. Every revelation of your strategy is a roadmap for those who want to beat you. Every detail you share about your methods becomes a blueprint for your replacement. The hunger for recognition is a trap that catches even brilliant minds. They can't resist explaining their genius. They can't stay quiet about their victories. They transform from mysterious winners into transparent targets with every word they speak. Your competitors aren't celebrating your success, they're studying it. They're not impressed by your achievements, they're reverse engineering them. They're not your audience, they're your future opposition, now armed with your own intelligence. The most enduring empires in history were built by those who revealed only their outcomes, never their methods. They celebrated internally and spoke externally only when silence would cost them more than revelation. They understood that mystery maintains power, while explanation destroys it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Victory speaks silently. Number 3. The liquid confession. Alcohol doesn't create new thoughts. It removes the barriers that keep dangerous thoughts hidden. Every drink weakens your mental security system. Every glass lowers your defenses. Every bottle turns you into an intelligence asset for anyone smart enough to stay sober while you talk. The most valuable secrets are never extracted through pressure. They're extracted through wine. People confess their fears, reveal their strategies, expose their plans, and admit their failures when their inhibitions dissolve. What takes years to learn through observation can be discovered in one unguarded evening. Professional manipulators are masters of this. They create comfortable environments, provide endless drinks, and ask seemingly innocent questions while their targets become more and more talkative. They remember everything while you remember nothing. Your drunk confessions become sober consequences. That admission about your business troubles becomes intelligence for competitors. That moment of vulnerability becomes a lifetime of regret. Ancient courts understood this. The advisor who stayed sober while everyone else drank was always the most dangerous person in the room, not because of what he said, because of what he heard. Be that person. Your temporary desire to connect and confess will create permanent damage to your position. Choose clarity over comfort when the stakes matter. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My clarity is my power. Number 4. The breaking point. Pressure reveals character, and most people discover they have less of it than they thought. When stress mounts, deadlines crowd in, and expectations pile up, the composed mask slips away. What emerges is often raw, unguarded, and perfectly exploitable by those who understand human psychology. Stress creates desperation, and desperation creates confession. Under pressure, people admit they're unqualified, reveal they're struggling, and expose exactly where they're failing. They think they're seeking support. They're actually handing out targeting information. The most dangerous stress confessions happen to those closest to you. You tell family about your work struggles. You tell colleagues about your doubts. You tell friends about your inadequacies. Each confession creates a vulnerability that can be weaponized later. Your breaking point is not a moment of authenticity. It is a moment of exploitation. While you're focused on releasing pressure, others are focused on applying it. Your stress becomes their opportunity. The iron forged through heat doesn't crack and scatter, it holds its shape. It becomes stronger precisely because of the pressure it absorbed. Pressure is not your enemy, your response to it is. Master your response, and pressure becomes a filter that eliminates weaker people who reveal themselves under fire. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pressure builds diamonds. Number 5. The sympathy extraction. Professional manipulators don't attack directly, they appear vulnerable. They share carefully crafted stories of struggle. They reveal strategic weaknesses. They make you feel like their savior. And while you're busy feeling important and needed, they're busy extracting every piece of valuable information you possess. The sympathy trap works because it reverses the power dynamic. Instead of feeling threatened, you feel protective. Instead of guarding your secrets, you share them to help. Instead of maintaining distance, you build intimacy that can be exploited later. Real vulnerability is rare and messy. Performed vulnerability is polished and purposeful. Learn to distinguish between the two. The person who tells the perfect sob story, the one that conveniently leads to questions about your business, your relationships, or your plans, is often the most calculated predator in the room. Your compassion becomes their competitive advantage. Every secret you share to help them becomes intelligence they use against you. Every weakness you reveal in solidarity becomes ammunition for future attacks. The old proverb says it plainly, a generous heart unguarded is not a virtue, it is an open door. True strength helps without revealing vulnerabilities. It supports without surrendering secrets. Master this balance or become prey to those who have already mastered you. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I help without revealing. Number 6, the information exchange. Social groups run on information currency. Every secret shared, every opinion revealed, every confidence broken has value in the social marketplace, and most people are terrible negotiators. The gossip economy has simple rules. Information flows upward to power, and betrayal flows downward to weakness. The person who collects secrets without sharing them accumulates influence. The person who shares secrets without collecting anything becomes powerless. Every workplace, every friend group, every community has information brokers. They appear interested, trustworthy, deeply connected, but they're running intelligence operations where your secrets are the product and your trust is the price you pay without realizing it. The most dangerous thing about gossip isn't what you say about others, it's what it reveals about you. Every confidence you break advertises your unreliability. Every secret you pass on becomes evidence of your character, evidence that will be used against you the moment those same people decide you're no longer useful. Smart operators listen to everything and contribute nothing valuable. They watch others destroy themselves with their own loose tongues. They become the most trusted person in every room precisely because nothing ever leaks from them. And that reputation compounds into power that no amount of gossip could ever buy. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Secrets flow to me. Number 7, the authority trap. When power challenges you unfairly, every instinct screams for justice. You want to defend yourself, prove your worth, and demonstrate that the criticism was wrong. This instinct will cost you everything. Authority doesn't want your explanations, it wants to see how you respond under fire. Most challenges from people above you are tests, not verdicts. They're designed to reveal whether you can handle pressure, absorb criticism, and maintain composure when the ground shifts. When you respond emotionally, you fail the test, and you confirm the very doubts they were testing for. The fairness you demand does not exist in power structures. The respect you expect must be earned through results, not claimed through arguments. The understanding you seek will never come from challenging those who hold your future in their hands. Your defense becomes your prosecution. History's most successful operators knew this. They absorbed unfair assessments without flinching. They let the criticism land. They responded not with words, but with results. And in time, the results did what no argument could ever have done. Your choice is simple. Adapt, perform, and outlast. Or keep insisting on fairness from people who don't operate by those rules and wonder why nothing ever changes. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Results prove everything. Number 8, the revenge revelation. When a relationship ends in betrayal, you possess nuclear intelligence. Their secrets, their fears, their failures, the private information they trusted you with. The temptation to weaponize it feels like justice. It is a suicide strategy. Every relationship is a mutual intelligence exchange. You know their vulnerabilities, they know yours. When you start revealing their secrets, you're not just attacking them, you're advertising yourself as someone who weaponizes private information when hurt, and everyone watching is deciding in that moment whether they can trust you with theirs. Your revenge becomes their warning about your character. Future partners, employers, and allies are always watching how you handle endings. They're evaluating whether you can be trusted with sensitive information. One moment of exposed revenge tells them everything they need to know. The most strategic operators treat betrayal differently. They preserve secrets as future leverage rather than spending them for immediate satisfaction. They understand that maintained silence is more powerful than any public exposure. They move in silence, rebuild in silence, and let their outcomes speak in ways that words never could. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is my revenge. Number 9, the competence theater. When you feel uncertain or inadequate, your mouth tries to compensate. You name drop to seem connected. You over-explain to seem knowledgeable. You interrupt to seem important. You perform expertise you don't fully possess. This performance fools no one and exposes everything.
True competence doesn't require advertisement. Real expertise doesn't need a preamble. Genuine confidence doesn't seek validation from the room. When you constantly perform these qualities through words, you prove you don't possess them through substance. The most dangerous part of competence theater is that it makes you manipulable. People learn exactly which buttons trigger your need to prove yourself. They discover how to maneuver you into revealing information, making poor decisions, or acting against your own interests. Your insecurity becomes their lever. The builders of lasting legacies let their work create their reputation, not their speeches. They were comfortable with others not immediately recognizing their value because they were certain in their ability to demonstrate it when it mattered. They never auditioned for rooms that weren't worth performing in. Stop performing, start building. The right people will notice without you ever having to point. Number 10, the promise prison. When facing pressure you can't immediately meet, demands you can't satisfy, expectations you can't fulfill, your mouth starts writing checks your life can't cash. Promises feel like solutions because they dissolve immediate tension without requiring immediate capability. But every promise is a debt that compounds with interest. Promise-making is the language of the desperate. It's what people do when they lack real solutions to real problems. Instead of confronting the gap between where they are and what's required, they create fantasy futures that never materialize. Instead of building actual value, they build false expectations and then spend enormous energy managing the fallout. Every broken promise becomes evidence against your reliability. Every broken commitment proves that temporary comfort matters more than permanent reputation. And reputation, once lost, is not rebuilt with more promises. The most trusted people in any room operate on a simple principle. They underpromise and overdeliver. They say less than they'll do, not more. They build reputations not through grand commitments, but through small, consistent ones that they never break. Your word is either your most powerful asset or your most obvious liability. You decide which one it is every time you open your mouth. Your mouth has been working against you your entire life, and most people never realize it until the damage is already done. Every conversation is a moment where power shifts. Every social interaction is a chess game where your words are either strategic moves or costly blunders. The 10 traps we just covered aren't rare events. They happen to everyone around you every day. The difference between those who fall and those who rise isn't talent or opportunity. It's the understanding that words carry consequences and silence carries power. The ancient strategists who outlasted enemies, who won battles before they were ever fought, they understood what most people never learn. The game is won not by those who speak their minds freely, but by those who master their minds before they speak. Every word either builds your position or weakens it. Every silence either protects you or costs you an opening. In a world where everything is recorded, remembered, and potentially turned against you, your verbal discipline becomes your most valuable skill. Your ability to speak with intention rather than emotion determines whether you control your story or become a casualty of your own voice. The most powerful people throughout history were not the loudest. They were the most strategic. They spoke when their words could build something. They stayed silent when their words could destroy something. They understood that in the real game of power and influence, your mouth is either your greatest weapon or your most dangerous liability. The choice is yours. Will you keep letting your words sabotage your future, or will you master the discipline of strategic silence? Will you keep feeding the people around you with intelligence they'll use against you, or will you join the few who understand that real power doesn't announce itself? Your words will either build your empire or become the tools others use to dismantle it. The decision you make starting today will determine which one it is. If this opened your eyes to how your own words have been used against you, subscribe now for more insights into the psychology of power, discipline, and influence. Your future self will thank you for learning these lessons before it's too late.